Hello and welcome to Global News. This week, a male student went on a stabbing spree at a community college northwest of Houston. 14 people were injured, 2 people were fairly injured and 2 people were seriously injured. The male was 21 years of age and has not been revealed yet.
The world looks away. Robert Mugabe, the 89-year-old murderous dictator of Zimbabwe, was personally invited to Vatican City by the Pope. The European Travel Union turned their heads and let him through due to the fact that it was a religious event that he was attending. On his trip, he wasn't charged or taken into custody at all. In fact, he left with a new constitution. 95% of LCBO workers are going on strike. They're striking about job security and wage fairness. Negotiations are still scheduled into mid-May, and both union and management officials are downplaying the possibility of a strike. The workers' contracts ended on March 31st. Mastersfield includes a 14-year-old from China. Guan Tianlong is a 14-year-old boy from China who has set records, being the youngest boy to play at the Masters. Pro golfer Ben Creasue says he's way more mature than 14. I think we were all asking ourselves what we were doing at that age. He's very accomplished, and you could just tell that he lives and breathes the sport.
And now, for a message from our sponsors.
This February, get your ducks in a row.
It's time to bring the pain, Jack.
For Season 3 of Duck Dynasty.
This day just got awesome.
The beards are shaking things up.
When the going gets tough, the tough strap on camo tights.
Shaking relatives down.
You're going 27 to 25.
Oh, boy.
We need to get the canine unit in here.
And shaking that which should not be shaken.
What are you doing? Working out.
You've given me a visual that I'm going to have to deal with the rest of my life.
Duck Dynasty Season 3, Wednesday, February 27th on A&E.
Thank you for returning to our program.
Disabled man wants legal sex assistance. A disabled man is encouraging Quebec to follow the lead of some European countries by training sex assistants. These people would be used to meet several needs of disabled clients. The man pushing for this is Andrea Cadini, and he has been paralyzed since birth. Despite his abilities, he has had an active life under the sheets for several years. He has hired women for $60 to $100 for an act he calls moral assistance. Anonymous claims to ID Nova Scotian teen's alleged rapist. The famous hacker we all know as Anonymous has given 3 out of 4 names of the boys that have raped a girl 2 years ago. That girl just last week killed herself from all the humiliation. No sign of the DPRK army preparing for war. North Korea's threats have intensified against the United States and South Korea. Citizens are being evacuated from South Korea to avoid being dragged into a thermonuclear war. The North, which has threatened the South and the U.S., has started making anniversaries, and they are likely to show displays of military might and make strong statements.
This week, the Iron Lady, Margaret Thatcher, died. She was known for her uncompromising politics and leadership style. She was the former UK Prime Minister and was not only the first woman to hold the position, she was also the longest serving Prime Minister of the 20th century. In poor health for the last several years, Thatcher passed away Monday at the age of 87 after suffering a stroke.
New album, rumour has it. Adele returning to studio planning an edgy follow-up to 21. British soul sensation Adele has returned to studio to record new music just 6 months after giving birth. A source says Adele wants to move with the times and is trying to make her new record sound as edgy as possible. Oasis superstar Liam Gallagher is probably the least likely supporter of the Biebs, but in response to complaints about Justin turning up 2 hours late to a concert, Liam said this: "Anyone who goes on 2 hours late is effing right in my books, man. All these so-called rock bands sit backstage going, let's wait 15 minutes. F that, let's wait 2 hours and 15 minutes. No one will ever beat that, so get off his back, man. I'm a believer and I got off his effing back." Today's star sign is Aries. Famous people born on April 15th are Emma Watson, Leonardo da Vinci and Seth Rogen. Buy this burger. Buy it. Roche immune therapy cancer drug shows promise in early study. An experimental drug that spurs the immune system to fight cancer appeared to be safe and demonstrated anti-tumour activity against a variety of cancers in a small early stage. The drug is called MPD13280A.
Now for the local.
National embarrassment. A city councillor has warned his colleagues that leaving university and college students out of official voters' records will bring national embarrassment to Kingston. Council voted Tuesday night against factoring in the students attending Queen's University, St. Lawrence College, and Royal Military College into new electoral boundary changes, largely on the ground that they are not full-time residents and that they tend not to vote in municipal elections. Short of the matter, several city councillors appeared at the council chambers on Tuesday night wearing shirts reading, "My Kingston's includes post-secondary students." The slogan was a reference to Tuesday night's continuous electoral boundary realignment vote in which a majority of councillors chose an opinion that would not include post-secondary students in official voting figures. Wearing the t-shirts were three supporters of counting the students in the census members: Rick Downs, Jim Neal, and Bill Glover. Immediately after entering the chambers, Mayor Mark Garrettson asked the councillors to remove the t-shirts or cover up the message.
A woman killed in a shooting in Bracebridge, Ontario on Friday is being remembered by her former co-workers and employees. In Kingston, Ontario, as a real special person, Lindsay Wilson was found shot along with Jeremy Raymond. The police were phoned just before 4 p.m. on Friday. Dry conditions left over from the winter have prompted Kingston Fire and Rescue and the city to institute an open-air burning ban. The ban went into effect Sunday. About 125 farmers, local food advocates, environmentalists, and members of the public took part in a day of action at Springer Market Square on Tuesday to try and stop genetically modified alfalfa from being introduced in Canada. The groups are concerned that having genetically modified alfalfa grown on their farms will contaminate other farms and crops when it is pollinated by insects. This Tuesday, Billy Talent performed at the K-Rock Centre for 3,000 people. The band, who started in Mississauga, Ontario in 1993, have been touring in Canada for their fourth studio album. The three opening bands were Sum 41, Indian Handcraft, and Colorado. The next stop on their Dead Silence tour is in Quebec City. And now for an interview with some of the people who went to the concert. So I hear you two were at the Billy Talent concert.
Oh yeah, man. Oh,
Yeah.
that was...
One of a kind experience. Sum 41, Colorado, Indian Handcraft.
they were a gem.
Yeah, and then when Billy Talent came on, just
Billy Talent blew the roof off the joint.
So what song did they open with?
Well, you see, it was quite a musical fusion process thingy.
Yeah.
Because they opened up with Lonely Road to Absolution, right? You know, everyone knows that song, yeah!
Yeah.
And then... and then after they finished their chord, and then as soon as they finished the chord, they had this big curtain in the background, right?
Yeah.
And it just dropped big old skull flames and stuff. And then they just broke out in the Vikings Death March, and they were jumping like some Sum 41 stuff, and it was all like
the atmosphere was just unbelievable. It was just extremely exciting.
I personally, this has never happened. The whole floor was a mosh pit, you know? There was like no seats, it was only standing room, and everyone was just fist pumping in the air.
Yeah, it's just
what a
jumping
time.
and
It sounds like it was fun.
totes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Should have been.
For reals.
Was there a lot of alcohol there?
Oh man, you want one guy?
Alcohol?
Guys,